Hi, I'm Big Lake. Welcome to the Big Lake channel, Sports Consortium. And today we are going to talk about the Eagles and the Cowboys Christmas Eve game. Let's observe. So, Jalen Hurts missed this game with a shoulder injury, sustained sometime last Sunday it was, against the Bears at Chicago in the Eagles-Bears game. So, Gardner Minshew started this game, and he was 24 of 38 with 355 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. One caught by Jaron Kearse, and the second caught by Deron Bland in the fourth quarter with 4:18 left. And on the other side, Dak Prescott had by far his best game of the season. He was 27 of 35 with 347 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception caught by Josh Sweat that was returned 42 yards for a pick 6. Other than that pick 6, Dak played almost a perfect game. I say almost because no one is perfect, of course. And so we must look at the wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb, former Oklahoma Sooner, caught 10 receptions for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. And on the other side, Devontae Smith, former Alabama Crimson Tide Heisman Trophy winner, had 8 catches, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns also. And the most important catch of the game, the best catch of the game, was caught by T.Y. Hilton in his first game with the Cowboys. Now, he only had 1 reception, but this came on a 3rd and 30 after Dak was sacked twice, back-to-back times. The Cowboys were backed up on a 3rd and 30, and Dak launched the ball as far as he could on a go route to T.Y. Hilton, and he made an explosive catch that cracked open the momentum of the game. And that's exactly what the Cowboys needed at the wide receiver position. Another wideout that can run past the safety. And say what you want to about the coverage, but receivers have to make the play. That was by far the best catch of the game. And so the Eagles did have 4 turnovers in this game, but none more critical than the forced fumble by Carlos Watkins, forcing the ball from the hands of Miles Sanders. That was the defensive play of the game. After the Cowboys had taken a 3-point lead, the Eagles got the ball back, and they fumbled again. They had the ball forced from their hands, and it was recovered by the Cowboys, and they were able to extend the 3-point lead to a 6-point lead, possibly changing the strategy of the offense for the Eagles. Obviously, they needed a touchdown to win the game, and they couldn't tie the game with a field goal. But all Gardner Minshew needed was 1 open receiver on that 4th and 10. And that game would have belonged to the Eagles, and they would have clinched the number 1 seed. Now, back to Dak. Dak Prescott now has 11 interceptions on the season. And I know the national media has been making a huge deal out of it. Honestly, interceptions are not a good thing. But in order to gain reward, you must have risk. You must take risks to get reward. Matthew Stafford led the league in interceptions thrown, 17, tied with Trevor Lawrence last season when the Rams made their Super Bowl run. Matthew Stafford had 41 touchdown passes last season. Obviously, Dak is not going to make it to 41 touchdown passes in the regular season. He now has 20 regular season touchdowns. He also missed 5 games with a hand injury. Remember that, folks. So his production has been cut off significantly from last season. But this is the game that the Cowboys needed from Dak Prescott. And if he continues to play like this, they will win a playoff game in the wild card round, unlike what they did last year against San Francisco. Now the Cowboys are going to make the postseason for the first time since 2006 on back-to-back years. And if Dak Prescott plays anything like he did against the Eagles on Christmas Eve, they will have a chance to go to the Super Bowl this season. I guarantee it. Now, I highly doubt that the Eagles are going to give away the number 1 seed with only 2 games remaining, even though they are still a game up on the Vikings. They have the Saints and the Giants, and I doubt the Eagles are going to lose both of their regular season games in 17 and week 18. I highly doubt they lose both of those games. But of course the tiebreaker comes into play. The Vikings also have Green Bay and Chicago left on their schedule. And we know Green Bay will not be an easy game. Green Bay is coming off of their exciting Christmas Day win, of course, against the Dolphins, in which they pulled down 4 interceptions to close the game out and shocked the Miami Dolphins at home at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. Now, Green Bay still has a chance to make the playoffs if they're able to win their next 2. We'll see about that. That's going to be an interesting game against the Vikings. But, you know, I'm very sure that the Vikings are confident in their position anyway, even if they don't get the number 1 seed in the NFC. They're also coming off of a 61-yard walk-off field goal against the Giants. I'm sure Vikings fans are very happy with their team's position anyway. And of course, the Cowboys are still in play to get the NFC East, but I doubt it will happen. Like I said, the Eagles still have to lose one of their next 2, and honestly, I wouldn't bet on it. They have the Giants on their schedule. New Orleans is still fighting for their playoff spot, even though all Tampa Bay has to do is win next week against Carolina. Who knows what will happen? Now, the Tennessee Titans. They lost to the Chargers last week, and they also lost to Houston 19-14. And in between that time, Jacksonville beat the Dallas Cowboys on a pick 6, and they beat Zach Wilson and the Jets in what will probably be Zach Wilson's final game with the New York Jets, assuming he doesn't play the next game. But, you know, that's a story for another topic. A topic for another time, should I say. Jacksonville beat the Cowboys 40-34 in overtime. And they beat the Jets 19-3 in what was not a spectacular offensive performance, but they played better than the Jets. And now they hold the number 1 seed in the AFC South. Now, of course, the Titans have to play the Cowboys on Thursday night, which should be an interesting game. And Jacksonville has to play the Houston Texans this weekend. And if they're tied after this weekend, if they both lose or they both win, you can call Week 18's matchup the AFC South Championship, because Jacksonville will play Tennessee. And I will be excited to see that, if it indeed happens that they are tied after this weekend. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching the Big Lake Channel Sports Consortium. Have a happy new year and have a beautiful day. Go outside in the sun wherever you are in the world. Follow us on YouTube and Instagram at the Big Lake Channel or the Big Lake Channel Sports Consortium. And of course, follow the Big Lake Channel on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and check out our Spotify playlist. If you need some Christmas music for your holiday party, search the Big Lake Channel on Spotify. We've got some good Christmas music for you. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.